We're here today with the crew of the Prometheus 5 mission. They have just returned to Earth from a long mission in space. We've got some questions for them. After we talk to them for a little bit, we'll open up to members of the press for to ask them some other questions. First of all, guys, just in terms of an introduction, can you tell us a little bit about your roles on the team, why you were selected for this mission as a team, and a summary of your mission objectives?
I'm Sophia Pagioni. I'm the data archivist aboard Prometheus 5, and I majored in journalism and data assessment at Harvard.
So my name is Anna Mansneva. I am the pilot of this mission. I was chosen for this mission because I majored in mathematics and then I minored in graphic design.
Hello, my name's Ryan. I am the supervisor and medical professional. I attended medical school and I worked as an EMT for over a decade before getting this job.
My name is Michael. I majored in engineering and I've worked at NASA for 5 years.
My name is Nicholas and I majored in computer design I can't remember what it's called now, but I also majored in software engineering. I forgot what they're called, but
it's been a while since college.
Engineering.
I haven't been in college for a long time now. But I am the ship's navigation and navigation person.
So tell us a little bit about what your mission objective was for Prometheus 5.
So our mission was to go and retrieve the asteroid Hestia. It was a very, very long mission. It took over 2 years, and our mission was to take the Prometheus 5 vessel to the location of Hestia, which we will talk about in a little bit, and drill into it to get a good grasp, and then bring it back into Earth's orbit so that we could harvest it in future missions for resources that can be used for various means.
So tell us, continuing on that, tell us where Hestia is located and how far away from Earth it was.
So it was, I can't remember where it was located, or I don't have like a reference point to know where it was located, but it was about 450 million kilometers from Earth.
Great. And so you said that your mission lasted 2 years. In order to complete this mission in 2 years, how fast did the Prometheus craft have to travel to reach Hestia and get back in that amount of time?
So the Prometheus 5 spacecraft traveled at approximately 27,500 kilometers per hour.
Wow, that's incredible. And tell us a little bit about the process of how you captured the Hestia asteroid. What specific tools or equipment did you use?
Well, for the Prometheus 5, what we had on as you see on the ship's design, as we have retractable arms right here, and then we have an electromagnetic pad, which eventually when we have re-entry and on its Earth, we'll get to that later, it covers it up from burning. And what we have, these retractable arms can go fully around, even around this, because this is the main booster that we have, and we have the rocket thrusters to help us get up. This was actually based off the space shuttles that NASA was using, but instead we have more of like a modern day Artemis, the rocket right here. And so what the retractable arms would do, they'd spread about 2 or 3 miles out, depending on, and then they did have joint systems that could rotate 180 degrees horizontally. And we have the main power source down here, that way if we need to.
We'll be sure to get a archival photo of that image so we can show it in your video later.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what the size of the Hestia asteroid is and what its composition is, what it's made out of, and exactly why you were bringing that asteroid back.
So the mass of Hestia was approximately 4 trillion kilograms, now part of that did fracture off when it hit the moon, but approximately 75% of it ricocheted off. And then it was made of graphite and solid hydrogen, about 50-50.
I hate to break in and get out of the line of questions here, but did you just say it hit the moon?
In a previous in a previous mission, we determined that if a fragment of the asteroid known as Hestia collided with the moon in previous years, and that was the subject of the Prometheus 4 mission, which happened multiple years
You
ago.
have me worried that I was afraid we might be nearing the end of humanity, that large asteroid had just struck our moon. Thank you for clarifying that for me. I feel comfortable continuing with this interview now. If the press corps could please not rustle their papers around. So tell us a little bit about the value of your mission and what contributions it might make to science or to humanity.
The main function of our mission was to gather a nearly limitless amount of supplies for fuel and for future missions, along with test the limits of the new grappling arms that we have created specifically for this mission.
So, do you feel like this mission had any implications or anything you discovered on any implications for the future of space exploration or for habitation in space?
Well, this mission and the success of this mission shows that there are fuel sources in space that we can use. So we don't have to carry as much fuel as long as we have a place to stop and get more fuel, resupply our fuel for our space vehicles and things like that. We can make sure that there's not going to be any fuel shortages in space exploration in the future.
Great, thank you for sharing that. Who sponsored this mission? Was this a NASA-funded mission, a private enterprise, combined with the two?
This was sponsored by NASA as a way to get resources for future space missions sponsored by NASA, but it also had private investors that will also be getting a portion of the asteroid itself and the materials included.
I love the private-public partnership there. Did your craft carry any other experiments into space with you? Did you carry other items that other groups might be studying?
Yes, our spacecraft carried the Pandora 1 rover to the moon to investigate and attempt to find the location of the previous Prometheus 1 mission.
Yes, we have some questions about that. The Prometheus 5, this is the 5th Prometheus mission, and missions 2 through 5 appear to have been very successful, but tragically Prometheus 1 was lost. Have we discovered any new data about that? Is there any new information? The public's been wanting to know for years what may have happened to Prometheus 1.
In fact, thanks to Pandora, we now do have an idea. We don't part of Prometheus 1 appeared on the moon several months ago, along with a strange cube. Our scientists on the Elysium International Moon Base are investigating right now.
Do you guys is anyone willing to make any conjecture, any speculation as to what might have happened here?
We are not confident enough to make a decision about that right now.
Okay, I guess we'll all be waiting to hear more about what happened to Prometheus 1. Prometheus 5, did you guys run into any unexpected challenges on this mission?
Well, I got food poisoning.
The only problem that we ran into was a man-made problem by Nicholas. Nicholas undercooked his shrimp, and he suffered from food poisoning for approximately 15 days, where he was treated with antibiotics in the medical bag.
Okay. Nicholas, I'm hoping you are feeling much better now.
Yes, I am.
That's good. It's good to know. It's good that you're feeling better. That can some bad shrimp in space is not something I would want to have to deal with. I know that.
We had to teach him how
I
to
didn't
cook.
enjoy dealing with it either.
He knows better to know how to cook now since we had to teach him.
Will there be a Prometheus 6 mission? Are you guys intending to take any more missions? And if so, will it be the same team?
We do intend there to be a Prometheus 6 in order to collect the materials, but we're not exactly sure who will be on it.
The composition of the team is highly volatile and based purely on what is needed for the mission.
Understood. Understood.
If we were to use the system, rocket systems again, we more than likely go with the same setup, maybe more stuff added on.
All right. All right. Are there any other space phenomena that any members of this team, jointly or on their own, would like to study further in the future?
I think personally I would very much be interested, perhaps together with my team, to join the team studying the object nicknamed for now Pandora's box that was found on the moon's surface at the crash site.
Anything else? Okay. Finally, what comfort from your life on Earth, other than fully cooked shrimp, did you guys most miss while you were exploring in space?
I guess a decent internet connection.
Yeah, can't remember.
I managed to get dial-up over our radio, but not a whole lot you can do with that.
Hard to keep up your gaming addiction in space, was it?
Yeah.
So we're going to turn this over to members of the press corps if there are any questions for the Prometheus 5 team.
How long did your mission take?
Approximately 2 years.
Those are the 17 months.
How did you guys get water?
That's classified.
We used a hydrogen-based rocket that you burned hydrogen in order to create, and as a in order to create thrust, and as a byproduct, it created water. Due to the function of how it works.
And then we also took supplies of water with us. A lot of that we reused. A lot was gathered by our air filtration system, and and we also had a system on board that would be able to create chemical reactions from things we could find in space. But that would be used only in cases of a water shortage, which fortunately never happened. Yes.
What did you guys do with your feces?
We used it as fertilizer so that we could have fresh crops of potatoes on board our ship.
Sweet potatoes to be exact.
Yes.
Hi, I'm the CEO of a nationally recognized shrimp restaurant chain, which will go unnamed. Regarding space food, I'm sure it was quite the treat to have fresh foods thawed out and cooked in space. Did you also bring a mixture of preserved foods, and how do you see the future of food in space moving forward?
We brought a large amount of preserved foods as a way of foods that we knew were going to work well, but we also brought fresh food that we could thaw as an experiment to see how cooking in space would function. And we're also pondering the question of 3D printing food in space as a way of having more compact ways to carry and transport food.
Fascinating, thank you.
Yes.
You guys said that you grew things. Where did you grow them with no gravity?
We grew them in planters, which have been done before. So you can germinate plants using water, and then you can plant them in growing beds, which are very easy to make and have been created before.
And to avoid soil going basically everywhere throughout the spacecraft, we would use a special system of netting that would cover the soil beds to make sure none of the soil would escape. Yes?
You said that who made up the team was highly volatile. Was there anyone who was added on later?
We basically knew from the start of our mission who was going to be on our team. We were assigned our team actually the first day that we began our research to prepare for this mission.
Please make sure we're speaking up so the mics can hear and can catch us.
Yes.
What manner did you use to cook your food?
We used a new form of oven that was designed specifically for our mission that had specific racks and certain things that heated up inside of it in order to cook things internally.
And on top of that, that's where my mechanics came in. As you can see on top of the solar panels, there's actually solar panels on top of the capsule. And we had a way from solar energy to transform that into the cookable energy.
So, did you guys have any problems or things you might have to overcome while you on your mission?
Yes, we had a problem of trying to teach Nicholas how to cook shrimp.
Yes. Nicholas was not taught by his parents how to cook, so we had to take that job for him.
Oh, that's really sweet.
It wasn't a microwave, so I mean, like.
Another issue that we had when we got there was that the asteroid Hestia, when it broke off, it created a very irregular shape, and it was difficult to find the center of gravity. And it took us around 2 months to fasten and refasten our grappling hooks to find the center of gravity for that, to be able to take it back to Earth, not spin right round around it.
We have time for about 2 more questions from the media pool.
Okay, we'll take one in the back, please.
So, what tools did you use to make success out of this mission?
So we used a lot of things that were designed by Michael, including these mechanical arms that were designed specifically to fasten to the sides of the asteroid as long as you can find the center of mass. And then we also used a plethora of experimental cooking materials and machines that were highly experimental and all functioned perfectly fine.
And also the electromagnetic pad, which is over by the stuff, and the heat cover for the asteroid, that way it would not burn off due to return on Earth, where it gets very hot in return. So we had that cover, that way the asteroid would not melt, because asteroids will melt when they go through the atmosphere at a high speed.
Yes.
Did anything happen that cannot be scientifically explained?
For our purposes, this information is classified.
Rob Robertson, Weekly World News. You can't silence me. I need to know. Where did Pandora's box come from? No, I want to ask my questions. No.
Security?
On that note, now that security has removed the distraction here, we probably have time for one final question if there are any.
Why did you guys choose this mission in particular?
We wanted to find a way that we can both find fuel in space so that we have the possibility to refuel on missions in the future, and we also needed fuel because we are starting to reach the limits of what Earth had on it naturally.
And because Nicholas needed more money for his video game addiction. To buy more video games.
Shots fired.
All right, Prometheus 5, thank you for coming in today. Thank you for spending some time with us and telling us about your mission. Is there any final words you would like to leave us with before you exit today?
And any of your team members at all?
We hope that with this newfound fuel, we'll be able to do missions farther and farther out into space and eventually recover the unfortunately lost Prometheus 1, as well as the bodies of the crew.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming here. Glad you recovered from your food poisoning.
Same.
All right, thank you, Prometheus 5.